Hi there, good morning. It's Councillor Glen. It is Saturday, March the 25th. I believe it's the 25th. This morning I'm in front of the Stittsville Legion. You might recognize it. I'll tell you why I'm here in a moment, but I wanted to start with a couple of serious notes here before I get into our regular updates. First of all, two individuals in our community who I wanted to recognize who passed away over the last couple of weeks. One was John Brummell. Many people would know John through his work as a journalist and photographer for the Stittsville News. He worked very closely alongside the late John Curry, and between the two of them for many years they covered just about every event and activity in our Stittsville and Goulburn community, and John will be greatly missed. I knew John very well, and I just love the joy and the spirit that he brought to his work. If you ever saw him in action, I just loved watching how he put people at ease in front of the camera, and you can see that reflected in the great photographs that John took. In fact, on my website, if you check it out, I added a clip, a little video clip that I took a number of years ago, actually, of John directing a community photo shoot, and you can get a sense of how John worked and his great sense of humor. So my condolences to John's family and his many, many friends in the community on that loss. Another death in our community, a young woman, Amanda Epp, who passed away a couple of weeks ago very suddenly and unexpectedly. Now, I bet you a lot of people in the community know Amanda without knowing that they know Amanda. Amanda worked at Quitters. She was one of the staff members there. And so if you were regular at Quitters, if you went in for coffee or for food or for trivia night, you probably know Amanda. And again, Amanda is someone with so many friends and family in the community, a really just great, lively spirit. And as my daughter often says, she made the best hot chocolate ever. So Amanda, you will be missed, and again, my condolences to her family and her many, many friends here in our community. We also had a really serious incident this week at Trustee M. Curry Park. Trustee Curry Park is on Hartsmere near Guardian Angel School and West Wind Public School. Police responded to an incident on Thursday evening, and two people were taken to hospital. Now, we did check in with police yesterday to get more information, and they wanted me to pass on a couple things. First of all, it is still under investigation, but they believe it is an isolated incident with no threat to the general public. And police also wanted me to remind residents to please report any unusual activity that you see in our community at parks or anywhere else. You can call 911 if there's a crime in progress. You can use the police non-emergency line, which you can find on ottawapolice.ca, to report something after the fact or a non-emergency. And in general, if you see graffiti, if you see garbage left behind, if you see people hanging out in parks after hours, on a non-emergency basis, you can also call 311 to alert bylaw. And it's really important that people make these reports so that police and bylaw can respond when they need to, but also it helps provide a bit of a record that can help in investigations as well. So thank you for your cooperation on that. Now, I mentioned I'm here in front of the Stittsville Legion. It's here on Stittsville Main Street, just north of Abbott Street. We've got the distinctive blue door here, and if you can see the sign right up there, the building originally opened in 1930 as the Loyal Orange Lodge, LOL. It's not laughing out loud, it's the Loyal Orange Lodge. In Stittsville, later it became the Stittsville Legion. And it is the location of the new Stittsville Youth Homework Club, which is a joint project between the Stittsville-Kanata Kiwanis Club and the Stittsville Legion. And I was thinking it's kind of fitting because at one point, this building has had many, many different uses over the years, and at one point it was actually a satellite location for Stittsville public school students. I'm not sure if it was while the school was being built back in the 50s or if it was concurrently as extra classroom space, but I know it was used by school, and maybe one of our local historians who might be watching can correct me on that. But anyhow, on Wednesdays and on Mondays after school, there's a homework club that's being hosted by volunteers from the community. So if you are a high school student, you're welcome to drop by. No registration is required. The volunteers can help you out with your homework if you need it, or maybe it's just you need a quiet space to study and catch up on some schoolwork. In any case, Mondays and Wednesdays after school, it is open, so you're welcome to drop by, and thank you to the volunteers who are helping out on this as well. Now, we're also trying to establish with the Kiwanis Club a drop-in basketball program just a little bit down the road at Frederick Banting School. That's actually the former Stittsville Public School, built in the 50s. And anyways, now it's the Frederick Banting Alternative School, but we're hoping to set up an after-school basketball program in their gym there. So if you have an interest in basketball and volunteering and you want to help out, please get in touch with me at glen.gower@ottawa.ca, and we'll put you in touch with the Kiwanis Club. Now, speaking of volunteers, we have launched the 2023 Stittsville Volunteer Award nomination process. There are 6 categories, and you can get all the information on my website at glengower.ca. See if I can remember the 6. There's the Roger Griffiths Award for Citizen of the Year. There's the John Curry Memorial Youth Volunteer Award. There is Senior of the Year, Teacher of the Year, Business of the Year, and Volunteer Organization of the Year. So 6 categories. If you know a worthy volunteer in our community, please do nominate them. You can find information on my website. Also on my website and at ottawa.ca, there's information about cleaning the capital. We've launched this year's program, so you can sign up your family, your neighbors, your business, your colleagues at work to pick a local park and spend an hour or two sometime in the month of April cleaning it up. So it's a great program. 30th year that the city has run this. Last year in Stittsville, we had just about every single park in the community that was spoken for, and that we had a team of volunteers cleaning it up, which is amazing. So I hope we can do that again this year. Sign up at ottawa.ca. I mentioned my website, and I hope you're visiting my website every single day, because my team and I post information just about every day on the website. A few things I wanted to highlight. We posted a list of 23 projects that we're working on here in Stittsville here in 2023. Figured it was about 3 years into the year. Great time to give an update. It's 23 projects, everything from road repaving to park renovations to the porta potty at Village Square Park that's coming later this spring to just provide some facilities for people using the park or the Trans-Canada Trail. Another thing on my website is an update about 20 Cedar Row Court. This is the address for the next phase of Wellings. They've submitted a revised site plan application for the next 2 phases, phases 2 and 3, I believe, of Wellings. Now, just to be clear, there's construction happening on the east side of Wellings. That's the new Extendicare that's being built. It's already been approved, all done. This next phases of Welling are on the west side of Welling. So if that's of interest to you, you can find more information on my website and send comments to the planners. We've also posted recently some information about Minto's Abbott's Run community. This is a new neighborhood that Minto will be building over the next few years, just east of Iber, between Hazeldean and Abbott Street, along the Robert Grant Avenue corridor. So we've posted some construction information about upcoming construction and the impact that may have on homes and businesses in the community. They did start over the last week or so with some tree clearing on the site in preparation of the development there. More on my website on some city policy work. There's information about the zoning bylaw update, and there's some discussion papers posted there. This is really important work in this term of council to update all of our zoning with direction from the new official plan and many of the provincial legislation changes as they relate to development. So if you're interested in planning and development in the city, please read those discussion papers. They're linked from my website. And this week we also posted information about the Transportation Master Plan and some updated policy documents that have been posted. Again, Transportation Master Plan, an incredibly important piece of policy that we are covering this year in Council. It sets out prioritization and policy for road and transportation and mobility projects. So new roads, transit, cycling, pedestrians, e-scooters, all sorts of things. So check out my website for more information. A couple more things before I wrap up. I got an update yesterday from my team on planning and organization for the 2023 Welcome to Stittsville Multicultural Festival. Really excited. We've got a number of groups already signed up to participate as exhibitors or as performers. We did this for the first time last year, and it was my favorite event of the year. So we're still putting the call out though for people in the community who might want to participate. So if you're an individual or a family or a group of friends and you'd like to share something about your culture or your country of origin, whether it's food or art or music or dance or fashion or even sports, we'd love to have you at the event on June 17th. And for more information, check out my website or email me at glen.gower@ottawa.ca. We're also looking for sponsors, so if you have any interest there, please get in touch. And finally, last but most importantly maybe today, is I'd like to recognize that we are in the month of Ramadan. So Ramadan began earlier this week, and many people in our community celebrating Ramadan. It's a month-long observance, includes fasting from morning till night, and a very important annual tradition for people in the Muslim community around the world and here in Stittsville. So Ramadan Mubarek to everyone in our community who is participating and celebrating Ramadan this year. Okay, that's it for me. I hope you have a great week. I will see you back here next Saturday. Take care.